And the thing that I don't like, as so often, is junk research. There are articles carried by Sky News and the Guardian newspaper to the effect that a survey had shown that people felt that violence against politicians is a price worth paying in order to get their desired outcome on Brexit. Now, we live in such a divided time that almost seems plausible. Almost, but not quite. So, what do we always do when faced by such stories? We go and look at the methodology and see if it matches the stated results. What you find when you do so is either incompetent or else it's completely cynical. Here's the original question. Some have suggested that leaving the European Union might present challenges to the UK, but others disagree, labelling this as Project Fear. For each of the following, please tell us whether you think this would be a price worth paying or not worth paying for Brexit. And he then goes through a range of possible consequences, of which the very last one is this. Violence directed towards members of Parliament. And you're given 3 options to choose from. Option number 1. I want this to happen regardless of Brexit, 7%. 2. I see it as a risk, but it's worth it to take back control, 39%. 3. Leaving the EU is not worth the risk of this happening, 54%. So, if you don't see that as a substantial risk, what do you tick? There isn't anything. If you really think that it's really not a risk, well, maybe there's a tiny risk. You have to choose, I see it as a risk, but it's worth it. And boom, there's your headline. You are now officially happy to see violence in order to achieve your outcome. Oh, and by the way, you might wonder what was going on with the 7%, who allegedly said that they wanted to see it happen anyway. That category was weird for all the questions. 4% of the people said that they wanted the destruction of the farming industry. 11% said they wanted the political party that they supported to break apart. 5% said they wanted themselves to get substantially poorer. I mean, that's an indicator of junk data right there. Probably we're talking protest votes at a badly designed questionnaire, or people who weren't approaching the exercise in a wholly serious spirit. Who knows? I don't believe that 5% of people want themselves to get poorer, regardless of what happens with Brexit. And I don't believe that larger numbers of people think that violence is a fine price to pay in order to get their way on Brexit. Junk data from bad research, fueling yet more bad sentiment in a divided country. Well done, Cardiff and Edinburgh University's outstanding job.